All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you for taking the time out to talk with me today about the movie Mass Hysteria. I very recently watched it, and that was a fun, crazy ride. Yeah, no, it was hilarious. Gina, you were fantastic. Jeff, Matt, you guys, it was a really, really fun Halloween movie. I love the Halloween feels. I guess my first question would be, where was the inspiration for this movie? I mean, were you guys all regional theater actors, directors, stage managers? Have you been part of historical, recreations?
Yeah, so a lot of us have a lot of ties, especially Matt, one of our producers and also plays Samuel Hale, has a lot of ties to a company in Salem called History Alive, and they do a show called Cry Innocent, and that is a historical reenactment of the trial of Bridget Bishop, who is one of the accused and one of the victims of the Salem witch trials. So we all kind of have been in the area of Salem and on the North Shore of Massachusetts. We all went to the same college up there. So that's how we kind of all got to know each other in that area of the US. So we had a lot of ties with Salem and how crazy it can be on Halloween, and the juxtaposition between history and the franchise that is Halloween is very dynamic and very fun. So we thought it'd be fun to make a movie about that. That two comparisons, yeah.
No, and absolutely, and that was made very clear. The stereotypes of the tourists that showed up, and everything was fantastic. And like I said, it gave off a really good Halloween vibe overall. So you guys have actually been in Salem on Halloween?
Yeah, as
to.
Ariel said, we grew, some of us grew up around here. We all went to school around here, and we went to school not that far from Salem. And so I don't know, Lori, if you've ever been here in the month of October, but tens of thousands of tourists flock on this town, and they're looking for spooky, creepy, they literally think a witch or a goblin, I'm not sure, is going to jump out from behind a building. But the irony is it's such a historical city and town, and sort of that juxtaposition of what tourists are looking for versus what's actually there is actually pretty fun.
No, absolutely. And which college did you guys go to? Was it?
We went to Gordon College, which is about 20 minutes outside of Salem in Massachusetts.
Okay, and you guys are all still on the East Coast?
No, I am not.
But you didn't end up on Broadway?
I know. Ended up in Los Angeles, so close.
Yeah, it was funny watching the movie and talking about New York will always be there, and moving on from regional theater to Broadway. It made me a little bit sad because of how COVID is right now and how it's affecting performers and artists. You guys, as performers, artists, how's that affected you?
A lot of independent projects and working on stuff alone. And kind of getting things ready for when it's time to jump and sort of get back into the action.
Yeah, film is such a collaborative effort. So doing things alone during this time is very different, very interesting. And I know. But yeah, hopefully with enough focus, I don't know how the rest of you guys feel, but doing stuff to prep essentially for when we can work together, all the groundwork has been done.
Nice. Now I watched the film a couple times because after the ending, I was like, I want to go back and, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I want to go back and you see any cues from the beginning. And there was definitely a lot of clues littered around at the beginning as to how it was going to end. Jeff Ryan, you particularly, but
It's so funny. It's Matt, who is just like the biggest horror fan I think I know. I think the first time he watched or read the script, he was just like, "Oh my god, I knew right away." And some people just have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, it was perfect. So Matt, you're a huge horror fan. Me too. It's my favorite genre. Horror comedy is especially hard to pull off. And
It is.
you guys did a really good job with this. So I have to ask, what's your inspiration for making this? You have any favorites? Do you have any?
Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz and Hot Fuzz alone. And actually, I'll let Jeffrey, who's the real diehard for that film, talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
yeah, I would say Ariel and I are pretty diehard when it comes to that movie, and yeah, I mean Hot Fuzz for sure. I think it's like the closest thing to like a perfect horror comedy. I guess you maybe wouldn't call it a horror comedy as much as like an action comedy.
Right.
It's kind of a mix.
Shaun of the Dead also.
Yes.
Yeah.
That also came to
It's
mind.
I think those movies just like, I mean, I watched them in college to fall asleep like every night, and it was just like it just made me feel happy. So like I think the more time you spend watching those movies, I think it's just like in my DNA at a certain point what I find funny, and the things I find funny every time I watch it is different. And yeah, I mean, Evil Dead was like a big, a lot of Sam Raimi movies are awesome, and just I think I look to a lot of those movies for inspiration because of the low budgetness to like Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, and it felt a little more, within your wheelhouse. What can you do? And also like the early Mad Max films was like a big inspiration. Not like the second one, which is like pretty good, but the first one was like pretty bad, or at least like we thought it was pretty bad, and we're watching it a bunch. We're like, we could do this, and we didn't. It's way better than our movie, but
and I think when we filmed the Babysitter on Netflix had just come out.
Oh yeah,
maybe about a year earlier, was super successful, and was that sort of fast-paced, bit of gore, comedy horror, and so I think that was a big source of, or not a big, but definitely a source of inspiration as well.
No, I could definitely see that. So do you guys have any plans for Halloween? I know it's a weird question, but I'm a huge horror nerd. I'm a huge Halloween fan, and with COVID going on, there's so many limited options. I mean, do you guys decorate? Do you watch a bunch of horror movies? Like I said, your film is perfect for Halloween. It just had that Halloween feels, and it made me so happy because I'm just mentally there right now. Like I need Halloween right now.
No.
Oh, great.
I love Halloween, and I love celebrating Halloween, and there's no way better to celebrate than to release your movie you made about Halloween in the month of October. So we're very excited about that. I love trick-or-treaters. I love trick-or-treaters. So I'm hoping there's a lot of trick-or-treaters that come to our place this year, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Halloween. All around, it's going to be super fun.
I am so excited personally. I hate summer with a passion. I hate being hot.
Same.
So as soon as like the weather changes and the leaves start changing, I'm just like in forever glory. So I'm looking forward to like honestly just being outside the whole time, because I can't stand being outside in the summer with like mosquitoes, which were horrible this year. And yeah, I love watching tons of horror movies in Halloween time, and I also like really watching really horrible Halloween movies like Halloween Town.
That's the best horrible Halloween movie ever.
Yes.
Come on, thank you. I'm like, let's go, put it on repeat.
Yeah, for sure. I feel you. Like I said, we're here in Vegas, and it's still, over 100 degrees right now. So I'm just not getting the fall feel. So
Yeah.
I just, like I said, I'm starting. Oh, you're in Los Angeles, Gina. So
Yeah, it's very warm.
I think this year with COVID and obviously a lack of Halloween parties and being here in Massachusetts, Halloween and so close to Salem, Halloween is about a 2 to 3 month event here, because it sort of starts in late summer and it ends sort of mid-November. And so I think it's going to be a lot of movies this year, and a lot of sort of hunkering down and sort of celebrating in your own way, which is super unfortunate, because the joy of being here is like everyone's together and it's so much fun, just like you saw in the movie before people started dying. But hopefully this year, we'll be able to celebrate, on our own screens.
Nice. Yeah. Like I said, I always wanted to go to Salem on Halloween. It's always been one of my bucket lists. So maybe next year. Hopefully.
You should come.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
also you should
Really
go,
fun.
one of our producers, Kay Lynch, runs the Salem Horror Festival,
Mhm.
and you should totally go for that too. It's so fun. They do such an incredible job just shutting down everything in Salem and like putting on tons and tons of events and bringing people in. So it's like a whole month event and totally worth it.
Lots of horror celebrities and talkbacks, which is so fun to get to see your favorite horror film stars.
It has a big fan, Lori, as you said you were. I feel like he always gets these celebrities, and I'm like, I thought I was the only person that thought this person was a celebrity, but I was like, oh my gosh, they're famous enough to be there at the Salem Horror Festival. So you should. This year it's going to be all online. So you should definitely check it out.
No, absolutely. And Matt, your role as kind of the crazy, over the top, like religious cult fanatic, like where did that come from? That was fun. You were fun there.
Oh, thank you. It's funny. It was written as like a crazy street preacher, and in modern day, that kind of doesn't work because he sort of leads a group of people, and I think the people that lead groups of people that are kind of the most dangerous are a little bit more slick and a little bit more subdued, and kind of that makes them a bit more dangerous. And so it's sort of like a modern take on someone eating locusts and honey on the street with like the crazy hair, and that's kind of what it would be in the 2020s.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking at the picture on Derek's screen right now, and that definitely has
Amazing.
a Mad Max kind of Mandy vibe to it. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And there is always in Salem, there is like always at least a few street preachers that are kind of boycotting Halloween, that are telling people to go home. This is like the devil's holiday. So there's kind of like, we wanted that voice represented as well. To, there's a big group of people out there that really don't like Halloween. I think that is yeah,
for sure. And they're misguided, as we know, but
yeah,
But they need representation too.
yes.
sure, they do their thing. Who am I to judge?
Right, exactly.
All right, so I have to ask, do you guys believe in the supernatural? Just curious. As horror fans, as horror participants.
I do.
I do.
I've been on a major alien kick as well lately. Don't get me started.
Oh, dear.
I don't know if you
Ooh,
share
Matt.
fascinations as well. Yeah. But I'm not gonna. This isn't about me. Gina, do you?
Oh,
You played such a convincing witch, not witch.
thank you. It's just how I naturally am.
See.
I think like for some ghosty stuff I do. I just started watching X-Files, so Matt, I might be on your train soon.
Oh boy.
Welcome aboard.
I want to believe.
Do you, Laurie?
Yes, absolutely.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Gotta.
You got it.
Why not?
What else explains all these creepy things that happen all the time?
Yeah.
Must be spirits. I know. I think I would be more apt to call things spirits rather than ghosts for some reason. But spirits is like kind of creepier a little bit, I think.
Yeah, spirits is way creepier than ghosts.
Yeah, I
Way
would rather say
creepier.
That's, like,
ghost. Oh my
Terrifying compared
god.
to ghosts.
Ghost is like a sheet with holes cut out.
Yeah, ghosts
Spirit
are
is like, that'll
friendly.
kill you.
Oh,
Ghost is like Beetlejuice, Gina Davis. That's what I
Right.
want in my house.
Right.
So that's great scenes I loved in the film when you guys stole the bed sheets and you all were like ghosts and trying to sneak through them. It was like so Scooby-Doo. It was so fun.
Oh man.
And then the guy who's constantly vaping, like it was
Yeah.
really funny. Like we all have that friend who's just vaping nonstop.
Yep.
This may sound like a silly question. Was it filmed in Salem?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Very
that's a
much
silly
so.
I
question.
assumed so.
Almost
No,
all.
it's a really good question because filming in Salem is really difficult for anybody
So we
out
want
there.
to talk about it.
Yeah.
We want to talk about how hard it was.
Okay.
Not really.
Yeah,
But it
advice
was
for young
really-
people trying to film in Salem: just don't.
Don't
Stop.
bother.
All right. Well, you guys, I love the film. It gave such good, fun Halloween vibes. I'll definitely recommend it to all my Halloween/horror film friends.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking the time to
Thank
speak
you.
with me. Like I said, I'll probably watch it again before Halloween. It's going to be on my
Yay.
rotation as Halloween movies. So
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank
No,
you,
thank
thank
you
you, thank
guys.
you.
it was a pleasure. Okay.
Fun.